Excellent Link Academy, we proceed from the third method of differentiation known as chain rule, right? Chain rule is simply the third method of differentiation, right? So let's try to understand the concept behind chain rule, right? So a chain rule is simply a method of differentiation that is adopted, right? Or perhaps that is used when you have two terms either adding or subtracting being raised to a particular power or index, or perhaps you call it degree. So what do I mean? Let's say I have a variable a and b. These are adding, right? In this case, or perhaps a minus b, they are subtracting as in this case. So either they are either adding or subtracting being raised to a particular power. Let's say the power should be n raised to power n. A question of this form is what a question of this form becomes a chain rule question. Why? Because I'm having two terms there, adding or subtracting being raised to a particular power. Can you see the power here? So that's like the concept behind chain rule. So whenever you see a question, you should know that it is a chain rule question. How do you know? I just explained. When you only have two terms adding being raised to a particular power, or two terms subtracting being raised to a particular power, as in this case here, then in that condition you apply what? A chain rule method of differentiation. Alright, let's dive into let me give you the formula of chain rule. So the formula for solving problem under chain rule goes below, right? So that becomes dy over the x is equal to dy over the u times du over the x. This is simply the mathematical formula for solving problem under chain rule. Dy over the x is equal to dy over the u multiply the u over the x. Let's take a quick example to further explain how to apply chain rule to solve problems. Example 1. If I have that y is equal to 6 plus x all to power 2, this is what a chain rule problem. Why? Because I'm having two numbers adding being raised to a particular power. So this idea will become a chain rule concept. So how do you solve this? What's the first task? First task is that my first task here, my first priority is to call the term in brackets, call it u, right? So let u to be equal to the term in bracket, that's 6 plus x, right? 6 plus x. So for an overview here, it means that I'm having u to be equal to 6 plus x. So it means that I'm differentiating u with respect to x. That's the case here. Differentiating u with what? Respect to x. I'll have du over the x to be equal to, if I differentiate 6 is a constant term, becomes 0, plus if I differentiate x, I'll have 1 from the idea of general method of differentiation, right? So at this point there, my du over the x value, du over the x value is equal to 1. So at this point here, we just said that from the question. At this point here now, pick out the question. We said y is equal to 6 plus x. We just said 6 plus x should be u. So I'll put u here. All to power 2 is 2 here. So if I differentiate u, y perhaps. If I differentiate y with respect to u, I'll have dy over the u to be equal to, I apply general method concept here. We said the idea for general method is that so applying general method here, the idea is quite simple. First task is to multiply by the power. My power here is 2. I'll have 2 here. Multiply by the power, which is 2. Repeat the question, that's due to power 2, right? Then minus 1 from the power. So the idea is quite simple. Multiply by the power and subtract from the power. So what I've applied here. So my dy over the u value will be equal to 2u. 2 minus 1 is 1. So there's an invisible 1 here. So this is my value for after differentiating u squared, I'll have 2u. at this point here now, I'll apply the concept of chain rule. So using chain rule, which says that dy over the x is equal to dy over the u multiplied the u over the x. For an overview, I'm having the y over the x, the y over the u to be this one. That's 2u. That's 2u multiply the u over x from here. The u over x here is obviously u over the x. That's 1. So multiply by 1. And my dy over the x is equal to anything multiplied by 1 is that thing. So I'll have 2u. Now look up. At this point here, I can let my answer be this. Why? Because I'm having the y over the x. It means that anything that will be here must be in terms of x. So I'll take this u back to x. But u was what? You said u was 6 plus x from here. So I'll put u back here as 6 plus x. So my answer the y over the x will be equal to 2 into 6 plus x as my final answer after differentiating this question here. Alright, let's try to solve one more example to further explain the idea of chain rule, right? Let's say I have example 2. Example 2. Let's say I have ax plus b, as in this case, square root of 5, right? Let's say I have this. Next up, I have 3 here. Let's go. So y is equal to this. So let's say I'm told to find the y over the x. All right. Let's say I'm told to find the y over the x here. What's the first task? We said my first task here is to take this one back to indices level. So it means that I'll have that y is equal to, if I have fifth root, it means 1 over 5. So I'll have ax plus b, as in this case, this is power 3, right? Then I'll have 1 over 5. This 1 over 5 is one that forms the square root the fifth root. So this fifth root becomes 1 over 5. Multiply 3 by 1 over 5, I'll have ax plus b. Y is equal to ax plus b. Next up, 3 times 1 is 3. Then over this 5. So this has become something of this nature now. Something of this nature. So apply the chain rule concept. First task, call the term in brackets, call it u. So let u to be equal to term in brackets ax plus b. Differentiate u with respect to x. I'll have du over the x to be equal to differentiate ax. If I have ax, if I differentiate ax, I'll have what then? A plus b. If I differentiate b, I'll have 0. We assume that b is a constant here, right? So I have a here as my answer. Next task says that from the question, says that y was equal to, let's do this one. This one is not simplified. This one is let's simplify. Let's now do this one. Y is equal to, we just said ax plus b is u. So put u here, all to power 3 over 5. At this point here, apply the concept of general method. So of course, from here now, I will have that the y over the u, y, I'm relating what with respect to u, I'll have the y over the u to be equal to multiply by the power. The power here is 3 over 5 multiplied by this one, the 2 power 3 over 5, that's of minus 1. From here, the y over the u is equal to 3 over 5, as in this case here, multiplied by u all to power 3 over 5 minus 1 will give me that's minus 2 over 5 minus 2 over 5. If I 3 over 5 minus 1 will give me minus 2 over 5. So it means that from here now, the value for the y over the u will be equal to 3 u to power minus 2 over 5 all over this 5 here, this 5 here. So it means that at this point now, I've gotten my value for the u over the x, and also divided by the u. At this point there, I will apply chain rule concept. So using chain rule at this point there, using chain rule, alright, using chain rule from there, using chain rule, if I use chain rule, recall that we said chain rule is what? The y over the x equal to the y over the u times the u over the x. That is to say, I'm having the y over the u. Check. The y over the u is obviously 3u. I'm having 3u to the power minus 2 over 5 over 5 here. Am I right? Of course, that's one here. Multiplied by the u and x, which is what? A in this case here. I have a. So have a here. Now your tag says that can you simplify? That's the idea now. Right? Let's simplify this one here. For this one now, this can be written as 3 over 5 multiplied by u to the power minus 2 over 5 multiplied by a. I spreaded it out, right? Is it correct? This way. So it means that if I take this one back to indices, I'll have 3 over 5 multiplied by, take this one to indices, that becomes 1 over u to the power 2 over 5 in indices. This one becomes, right, I'll take this one here, u to the power minus 2 over 5 to indices, I'll have this one multiplied by a. Of course, 3 times a, look up, 3 times a becomes 3a. 3 times 1 times a becomes 3a. All over, observe, 5 times u to the power 2 over 5 becomes 5 u to the power 2 over 5. This is still correct, that the y over the x value is equal to this. It's still correct, but I can still further to simplify this more better, right?
Yeah.
If I simplify this one here, I'll have that the y over the x is equal to 3a. I have 3a all over this 5 here. Now observe that I'm having u raised to the power 2 over 5. I can remove out 1 over 5 here. If I have u raised to the power 2 over 5, this can be written as u raised to the power what? 2 times 1 over 5. Of course, we said 1 over 5 can be written as what? The 5th root, right? Then I have u to the power 2 this way. So I'll write this one. This one now, this one has become something of this nature now to indices. So write this one here in this form, which is this. So I'll plug in this value here. So in that case, I'll have 5 as my 5 here. This one now to indices becomes this, which is what? 5th root of u to the power what? This power 2. Right? So I can't leave this as my final answer. Why? Because I'm having u here. So I'll take this u back to x. But u was what? We said u was what? What was u? U was ax plus b. Just ax plus b. So it means that if I see u, I put x plus b. So I'll have that a y of, so I'll have this 3, then a all over 5, right? Into 5 into square root of the 5th root, perhaps the 5th root of u. What's u? That's ax plus b all squared. So this is my final answer after solving that question here. So in the next class, we'll try to further explain how to use chain rule shortcut, right? Instead of going this long process, there's a shortcut that guides chain rule, which I want to discuss much more later in our next class. But before you go, I will show you the shortcut so that you have high interest in it. For the shortcut, let's say I'm having this question here. Let's say I'm having this question here. Y is equal to ax plus b all to power 3 over 5. For the shortcut, it's quite simple. Instead of going through this process, this process and here, I'll just use two lines to get my answer. What's the concept? First task is that I'm representing y with equal to x. I'll have the y over the x to be equal to, right at the back, 3 over 5. Differentiate the term in bracket, that's A. Repeat the question, ax plus b, 3 over 5. Subtract from the back, minus 1. If I multiply this, that becomes 3a over 5 into ax plus b. 3 over 5 minus 1 becomes minus 2 over 5. Minus 2 over 5. For an overview, this and let me just compare them. This and this are the same thing, but just different in expression. But let me just break it down for you. I'll have 3a, right? 3a here, all over this 5. Take this one to indices. This is minus because, or perhaps, let me take it this way. Let me take it one by one. I'll have 3a over 5 multiplied by this one to indices. 1 over ax plus b, then 2 over 5. Multiply them, that becomes 3a, right? 1 over 5 into, this is 2 over 5. 2 over 5 can be written as what? As I explained, yes. Further explain, somewhere here, right? I've written it. 2 over 5 can be written as 2 times 1 over 5. 1 over 5 is what? Fifth root. So I have the fifth root of ax plus b. Next up, this term, I'll write this 2. I'll have the 2 here. So it's like how to solve problem using the shortcut of chain rule. Like in the next class, I will further explain the rules guiding the shortcut of chain rule.